no.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Woo. Yeah. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into a lot of stuff. We got a lot to talk about today. I got a lot to talk about. It's a never-ending thing. I wish I could talk nonstop just because I'm so important and I'm so much smarter than everybody else. That's the way I like to think about it sometimes, but we all know it's not true because my opinion means absolutely nothing. It is simply mine. You have yours. I hope to invoke some thought when I talk on this podcast, and I hope to give you a little something to think about, talk about, and encourage you to educate yourself on everything and everyone that you possibly can. I got Hayden on my side. He is a producer.
I got P. Diddy this weekend. I got roofied. So
good for you. So Hayden was roofied and sodomized by a bunch of big black dudes for the weekend.
No.
Most people try to keep that in close, keep that close to the vest, but not Hayden. He's a sharer. So there you go. You know, we might as well just talk about LeBron and his big shooting slump that he's in right now. Did you see that, Hayden, that he took a break from basketball because he's got personal reasons?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So he's playing the worst basketball of his career. He went 0 from 20 from the three-point line, is my understanding. And his best buddy, P. Diddy, is in the clink and not ever getting out, most likely, because he's a weird rapist piece of shit. And he's on tape saying, ain't no party like a Diddy party. And I'm pretty sure that I called this one a couple months ago when I said he was the next one to go down. You laughed at me, didn't you? Well,
because you said he was wearing a maid outfit, and that's a fake photo. And plus, you're on tape.
I don't care about that.
You're on tape saying there ain't no party like a Diddy party too, pal. That's how you opened up the podcast.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm making fun of him. I'm not doing it on a live podcast with.
Well, you used to live in California. You used to live in California, man. I don't know.
Why are you talking so much?
Just saying.
I used to live in California, so that makes me a pedophile rapist. Everyone in California is a pedophile rapist by Hayden, who was sodomized over the weekend by a bunch of big black dudes after being roofied. You just learn to shut up because you don't learn a lot. But that's okay. That's for you, buddy. Enjoy that life. And I don't believe LeBron's from California, is he? Nope. I don't believe I've ever been to a P. Diddy party, have I? Nope.
Not that we know
I
of.
think that a lot of people that have are scrambling because a lot of really, really, really bad things happened. Jay-Z finds himself in the news as well. And honestly, it's not even funny, dude. So I wish you wouldn't make it funny. But now
you're right. I should start crying about it.
I don't know about crying, but these guys did a lot of bad things with a lot of bad people. A lot of people.
Right. I should let it ruin my day.
I'm not saying just let it ruin your day, but I'm saying it's horrible what they did.
Right.
So, I don't know. Maybe show a little empathy. Laughing about it, you know. Well, I guess, you know, when you enjoy being sodomized over the weekend after being roofied, then it's funny. But I don't think a lot of these other people really did. I think there's a lot of people that are coming out of the woodwork, and some of them are just trying to get paid. But, you know, I don't know. It'd be very interesting to know what actually happened, but I still don't think that Diddy's going to make it to trial. He's going to Epstein himself one way or another, and a lot of it's going to be pushed underneath the rug. And I think that's bullshit.
Hey, what did you think about that assassination on the healthcare CEO?
Let's finish one topic before we go into another one.
You talk about this every podcast.
So what?
The Diddy stuff. Like the
All
last
right,
4 or 5
we'll move
podcasts.
on. We'll talk about what you want to.
This is recent news. What did you think about that?
Yeah, he died. He's dead. What do you want me to think about it? He's not a college student, not a teenager.
He's an
graduated college.
An anti-capitalist that was trying to start a revolution. Like basically saying that the top 1% are like blood.
He is the top 1%. He's from one of the wealthiest families in Baltimore. He went to a private school. He was valedictorian at this said private school. He went to an Ivy League college.
Mm-hmm.
He has a degree in engineering. So his family is the 1%. So if he wants to start a revolution, he just should have started by murdering his own family. But instead, he killed a father of 2 who happened to be a CEO of a healthcare company. Murdered him in cold blood, shot him in the back, and somehow people think he's like a hero. He's not a hero. He's a piece of shit murderer, and he should go to prison for the rest of life, and he will.
Wasn't the guy, too, like from Iowa, and he was like a blue-collar guy that worked his way up to that position? Like it wasn't handed
I don't know.
to him?
I read that, but I don't know that for fact.
Right.
But he's a human being, and blah, blah, blah. And all these people, healthcare this and healthcare that. Well, if you don't like it, then vote people in that aren't going to keep it all the same. And we have a real opportunity now with Trump, RFK, to make a real difference in shit. So there you go. We'll see what happens. If they don't, then I'll be really disappointed. But you can't run around murdering people just because you're pissed off about something. I'm mad every single day. I hate you every single day. I don't shoot you, do I? It takes a lot of restraint. I was in the hospital for 2 months. My doctor told me I was having fucking panic attacks when I couldn't breathe because my lungs were filled with fluid. I can't murder her. She killed me. I was on life support for 3 days. I mean, it's people that are running around saying, this guy deserved what he got. Like, fuck you. You probably deserve what you get. I mean, where do we draw the line? Just because you're mad at healthcare, then you get to kill healthcare CEOs? What if you get mad at your car company because you don't like your car? Do you get to kill the CEO of Ford? Like, where does... Oh, you can't... No, you can't... Oh, that's crazy. You can't do that. Grocery prices are high. Should we start murdering grocery store owners?
Like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it could be effective.
What do you mean effective? There's nothing effective about it. You think healthcare is going to change overnight because we murdered this guy?
Some people might think twice.
About what?
About getting shot in the back.
Okay. So what do they? You think they're going to change healthcare, or you think they're just going to hire a bunch of security people?
I just want to play
devil
advocate here. So the government hasn't been holding those type of people accountable. So it's time.
What do you mean they don't hold them accountable? They all are in it together, and they make a shitload of money together.
Right, so they're not being held accountable.
Right,
it's just
so
a money
you think
game.
that they're going to somehow change all the laws and make healthcare good for everybody again?
If people start getting executed because they're being
so
greedy,
we should execute more.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it could be effective.
So that's the way to change things.
I didn't say that. I just said it's the most effective way to change things.
No, so you're telling people that they should go out and murder people because that's how you can get some change.
No, but I'm saying some CEOs, it might be the most effective thing to make them be like, oh shit, like I gotta watch what I'm doing. Otherwise,
yeah, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna change everything and start making less money, or they'll spend a couple $100,000 a year and hire a security team to walk around them. Good job.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what'll happen.
But it's like,
and now they're going to have to make more money to afford the security companies, so they're going to deny a couple more claims. Anybody that thinks that this is going to do a fucking thing to change anything is an idiot. It does nothing. This kid threw away his life. He had a wonderful life. He was tons of money from his family, excellent education, and he pissed it away. Good-looking guy, could have had all kinds of whatever girl he wanted, could have had tons of babies, whatever he wanted to do. Good job, dude. And he stole a father away from a couple of kids. And I'm sure the next guy that steps into that role is going to be all sunshines and flowers and just give away all their money. And it's nothing. Zero was accomplished except for stupidity. So it's just anybody that celebrated this is a moron. The whole aspect is just, it's crazy. And I'm glad the guy's in prison. I'm glad they caught him. He's going to go to jail for a really long time, and nothing's going to change. So, and you know what? I'll say this too, Elizabeth Warren. But for her to say that sometimes you just push people too far, what does that mean, Elizabeth? Does that mean when people get pushed too far that you can just start shooting people?
I mean, it's true what she's saying, but she, in a position of her power, she shouldn't be saying that.
It's not. You can't.
Like, look at COVID. You push people too far. Like, you know, businesses were shutting down. You had too much control. Like, people were going to buck back about that shit, you know? Like, that's true, but she shouldn't be the person saying that. She's a person in office. She shouldn't be like, oh, yeah, execution. Yeah, like, you know, that's going to happen.
Why not? You just said it was okay.
I'm not in public office.
Well, you're
I
an
don't
American
speak for the
citizen.
people of the United States of America. She does.
Oh, so it's okay for you to say it, but not for her. I thought murder was wrong, but I'm living in a weird world.
Yeah.
Hayden's world, it's okay.
What about if P. Diddy gets the death penalty or this guy? Is that wrong?
P. Diddy's not going to get the death penalty. And
That's-
killing someone
think
is not the same as murdering them.
Just saying, some people were born to be
So
buried.
the same thing. I can't even argue with you. You're fucking dumb, dude. I feel like I'm arguing with a brick wall of stupidity. His name is Hayden. How many times you work construction in your life? How many days, Hayden?
I built houses in Guatemala for a little bit, so that's
Really? You built houses in Guatemala and you don't know the difference between a bolt and a screw?
I was the one carrying shit, you know, like
that's
concrete.
pretty much what I figured. You probably did a bad job at that too, carrying one board at a time. I've worked construction many days, many years, built many houses, worked commercial construction, commercial painting, roofing, finishing, framing. And there's something to be said for a hard day's work. And there's something to be said for people that wake up butt crack early at dawn and work with their hands all day.
This guy.
And, you know, people don't really understand it because we've gone through this phase, or like a phase, of everybody has to go to college. The only way to have a good job is to do, you know, you gotta go to 4 years of school, then you gotta go to 2 more, 3 more years after that, and blah, 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 blah. But the truth of the matter is that there's a real shortage of people that work in the trades in this country. There's a real shortage of people that understand how to build anything. We're raising a generation of morons that don't know the difference between a bolt and a screw because they've never had to. They've never had to pick up a hammer. They never ever pick up a wrench. They don't know how to do it. And I find it to be incredibly sad. But I will say this. For those of you that are driving, and you're listening, or you're right now, if you got an 18-year-old kid or somebody that's about to graduate high school, I think it would be very fruitful to sit down, have a conversation with them about working in the trades, about becoming an electrician, a plumber, a general contractor. And these are fields of work that there's a lack of people in. And it's only going to get much worse. And we're going to have a much bigger lapse in them. And the simple fact is that you can make a couple $100,000 a year working in the trades. And you don't have to go into college and you don't have to put yourself into a huge amount of debt. You can go straight to work, start making money, get a paycheck. Most places start out pretty well, especially if you show that you can work and you carry more than one board at a time. And you can show that you have an adaptability to learn, that you'll listen. You know, I remember back in the day, I was building a condo building in Breckenridge, Colorado. Great big thing. 6 stories tall. And we were doing all the metal framing, which I don't know if anybody's ever framed. Most residential places are built with wood studs, wood boards, and commercial buildings are built with metal. So metal studs, all that. And it was a fair amount of work. I mean, you had to use a screw gun and put everything in there. And you had to cut all these metal studs and tracks, yada, yada, yada. And so everything was on the first floor in the basement where they were delivered, but we had to carry all our materials up to whatever part of the building that we were working on. And I was a hustler, man. I would work my ass off. And I would carry this stuff up there, and then when I was ready to go get more, I'd run down the stairs, and I'd carry it back up, and then I'd run back down the stairs. And I was never standing around with my hands on my hips, and I just wasn't lazy. And the guy that I worked with was pretty awesome. He was a friend of mine as well, and I didn't want to let him down. That's why I worked hard. I worked hard because that's just the way I was raised and what I did. Growing up on the farm obviously made a big difference there. But I remember one of the other kids that was working there, it was around my age, but he yelled at me one day when I was jogging down the stairs. He's like, "Why the fuck you work so hard?" And I was taken aback by it because I didn't expect it. I just was doing my job. And I just kind of blew him off and didn't really care. And I didn't think about it until later. But it was apparent that the other contractors, the other guys that were on the job site were looking at their workers like, "Why the fuck don't you work that hard? Why can't you jog to go get something? Why can't you put a little pep in your step? You're going to get paid by the hour, but the contractors, they get paid by the job. So the faster you get the job done, the faster you can move on to the next job. You still make the same amount of money. But my guess is that they would pay you more if you worked a little faster and you showed a little step." And that always stuck with me. It always stuck with me. Like, here was a kid that was pissed off at me for doing a good job. Not because I called him out, not because I did anything to him personally. I was just doing what I knew to be right as a human. And he was upset by it. Because he wanted me, I was making him look bad because he was lazy. And I wasn't. And it's a strong philosophy in life. It's a strong metaphor, if you will, that other people will happily drag you down instead of joining you up. Because they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the effort. They want to be lazy. And they want to be a POS. And it's much easier to let you come down to their level than for them to up their game and come up to yours. So when you got the haters out there telling you can't do something, you can't this, you can't that, you got to let that shit go. Because as simple as some jackass on a job site to someone telling you can't ever make it as an actor, you can't ever own your own business, you can't ever sleep with your boss. You know, there's a lot of people out there that tell you can't do things, and you got to overcome. You got to say, I'm going to do that regardless of the consequences. I don't care what people say. Nothing's holding me back. I want to give it up to my blue-collar workers, rocking the proud blue-collar American shirt today. A lot of respect for people that go into the trades, and a lot of people that know how to do simple things, being able to take care of your own house, being able to do some plumbing. So, you know, as a young person, you don't have to put yourself into debt and go to school and get drunk and black out for 4 years straight. I mean, you can get yourself a job, start making money, and just go to your local bar and black out for 4 years straight. You know, they need money too. You don't have to go to college to be a piece of crap. Look at Hayden. I know his parents listen to this, and I love you guys dearly, but did you have to drop him on his head so many times? I mean, maybe your mom should have lifted weights or something before she had a baby. I think you were probably heavy. And you had a massive head, too. You were, like, odd-shaped. Like, when you look at your baby pictures, there's, like, this little tiny body, and you just had this big, fat, stupid-looking head.
Cock, yeah.
So it was hard to, like, hold you. Like,
right.
You just flopped over all the time.
Right, yeah. Get that a lot.
Yeah.
No, man, I've been taking risks. Like you've been saying, man. I've been living life on the edge. I've been living dangerous. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like I'm flying too close to the sun.
No one cares. And you're full of shit. You're flying too close to the sun. You know how when you fly too close to the sun, you burn up because the sun's really hot. So Vikings played last night. I should call them the Vikings because they suck, even though their team is good. But watching the game last night, I was really interested in the fact that they threw the ball 32 times to 7 times rushing in the first half. They have Aaron Jones, who happens to be on your fantasy team that got completely fucking destroyed by someone else's fantasy team this week, in case you're wondering. Troy Aikman's talking about it, blah, blah, blah. Really surprising that they do this. And I just thought, like maybe they were watching tape of the Bears and they realized that the Bears are gassed. Like they're not in good shape. And so the Vikings were like, hey, you know what? If we throw the ball and we make these guys run around for the first half, they're going to be tired. And then our running game can come on in the second half and finish them out. Now, obviously, you learn that by watching a lot of game film. And you learn that by doing a lot of study. I don't even know if that's really what happened, but it's just the way that my brain works and the way that I thought. And it was very interesting to me of how deep all of that goes into and the amount of thought that goes into all of that. So they just decided, hey, you know what? Let's run these guys around for the first 3 quarters. We know they're going to be gassed out, and then we can finish the game strong with our running game. And I'm not a game planner for the NFL, so I don't freaking know. But I don't know. It's just kind of where my thought process was, and then I took it further and was thinking, like, with the players that are in the huddle, or they with the game on the line, they talk about being a humble person. And what does humble mean to you, Hayden?
Being able to put your ego aside and to be somebody that's grateful.
You know what I think humble is for? I think being humble is for incompetent pussies.
People call me a humble beast.
And you are an incompetent pussy as well. Humble.
Hashtag humble
F
beast.
humble, dude. When the game's on the line, I don't want the guy that's like, it's a team effort, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not the guy I want in the huddle. I want the guy that looks at everybody. He's like, throw me the effing ball. I'm going to catch it. We're going to score. We're going to win. That's the guy I want. I want the guy that shows up early. I want the guy that stays late. I want the guy that outworks everybody else every single day at practice. I want Kobe Bryant. I think Kobe Bryant was humble. Kobe Bryant was like, I think it's Billy's turn to get the ball this time. So Kobe was like, fuck that. Give me the ball. Who wants to win? That's it. There's a time when game was on the line and Kobe was about to take the game-winning shot. And they were in the little group, the timeout, and they had 2 seconds left in the game. Coach is drawing up a play, blah, blah, blah. And Kobe said, F that. He said, whoever wants to be part of history, throw the ball in bounds or throw me the ball right here. Throw the ball in, swoosh, Kobe wins the game. Now afterwards, when you're at the press conference, that's when you have to fake being humble, and you have to be like, it's a great team effort, everybody was there, blah, blah, blah. But when it's go time, the humble guy is not the guy that's going to win. You need the guy that's confident. You need the guy that's like, I'm going to take this shit, I'm going to take control of this, and we're going to make this happen. We use sports analogies. We use sports as a way to describe things. But the reality is that those same attributes apply to real life every single day. Driving down the road, at your own job, your boss, he doesn't want somebody that's gonna, it's a team effort and we gotta make sure that everybody gets a ribbon before we go home. No, he wants somebody that's going to take control. He wants somebody that's going to get the job done. He wants people to care. And unfortunately, we seem to just accept mediocre everywhere we go. We accept people that just want to be there instead of people that want to win. They want to succeed. And I'm hopeful that the current events in this country can help bring that back to something that people in America understand, that it's okay to be successful. It's okay to win. It's a lot of fun to win. It's a lot of fun to be successful. It's a lot of fun to be number one. But it's also a lot of work. You don't just get to just show up and all of a sudden everything gets handed to you and everything's easy. There's hours and hours of work that goes behind everything. Even this podcast, it's not a simple task. There's a lot of effort that gets involved. There's a lot of planning and a lot, you don't just start one day and everything's perfect. It takes a little time to learning. Got to go through the tough parts to get to the good parts. And one day, God willing, if that's in the future, awesome. But I'm not afraid to put in all the work to get there. That's for fucking sure. It's exciting. It's an exciting thing to be a part of when you're part of something from the ground up, and when you are willing to put your blood, sweat, tears, effort, time, money into something. And people only see the success at one point, right? And then they want to tear you down once you're up on top. That they all want to rip you down from there. And when they do the movie about you, that hard work part, that takes what? 2-3 minutes. They show you working really hard. Like the Rocky movies, they show him lifting a couple of fucking logs above his head for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden he's in the ring fighting and he wins. What the truth is that log lifting, man, that's years and years. And it takes that drive, it takes that grit to get through. You got to be the grittiest motherfucker. I'll kind of wrap it up, and I just want to say this. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Okay, I'm just kidding. Nah. Fuck P. Diddy. Don't be afraid to put the work in. Don't be afraid to try harder than other people. Don't listen to the people that want to bring you down because you're making them look bad by being a go-getter, by being the guy that doesn't walk at a slow pace to go get another board. Jog. Get your ass in gear. Think. Clean stuff up. Make the world better just because you're there. Show up on time. Be early. Work harder. That's what a champion is. And if you want to be a champion, maybe you don't have the skills to be a basketball player. I suck at basketball as I am the worst basketball player in the world. I sucked at it when I could walk. I suck at it now that I'm in a chair. I shouldn't even be allowed to look at basketball. But that doesn't mean I suck at everything else in the world. So I'll leave you with that simple thing to just try hard. And if you try hard enough, there's a good chance you can sleep with your boss. I'm FknBucky. Make this a great day. Be kind to each other. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I'm sure I probably won't have another episode in between. We still have our man Rowdy planning on coming on the show. Just a little bit of sidetracked because of all the stuff going on, holidays. But hey, we appreciate everybody that listens. And don't be a bitch, man. Get out there and go get it.